Welcome to August 23rd, 2018. I'm Chris McCleary, your host for Daily CIRF Report. We're looking for the biggest collective influence that might be affecting the way you think, feel, and behave. And if you are interested in knowing what the collective influence is on any given day, then subscribe and you'll get the latest updates. We're looking for triangulating between astrology, numerology, the DreamBot. DreamBot is the collection of dreams, and we're going to find what the biggest influence is, highest probable influence affecting the way you think, feel, and behave today. Starting with the numerology is 23, so it's enticing you to overindulge. If you're watching your spending habits or keeping an eye on what you eat, you find the day frustrating. So that's kind of a theme for all the way through the astrology and the DreamBot and the numerology. So what I wanted to point out here is that we do have that sun in Virgo that we talked about yesterday, and we have this grand Earth trine that's going to be a factor, especially for you Earth sign folks. But the focus, because the sun is not exactly in position for that grand trine, but it will be here in the next couple days. I wanted to focus up here on Capricorn, which we've kind of been homing in on the last few days. It's where the moon is currently, just got past Pluto, so that's going to have you feeling a little bit more discontent, bringing up old garbage from the past deep in the psyche, and that might have affected the way that you handle other people. A lot of potential for conflict. And as we head towards Mars retrograde, kind of have the same thing. Mars in retrograde is kind of conflicted, unfortunately, but we also have this kind of mud feel where it's hard to get things done. I know I want to get stuff done, but it's kind of hard to get that done, or maybe the circumstances are keeping you from getting it done, or you keep getting distracted and whatnot. One last thing I'd like to point out here in the astrology, and this is going to be important later in the day as we head into the nighttime and tomorrow morning, is a square to Uranus. As the moon enters Aquarius, you're going to get a whole different feel, much more airy and distant and humanity feel. Not tend to not be disappointed if you're separated from other people. You kind of feel in a healthy, isolated way. But the Uranus, which is in Taurus, a ground sign or earth sign, is in a square with the moon. And it not right now, but as it finishes its round through Mars, it's going to go right into that square with Uranus. And that's going to feel a little bit more restricted and confined. So even those air signs who are feeling kind of airy and mental and out there are going to feel even more restricted. It's asking you to change some more stuff. So Uranus does rule that Aquarius sign, so that square is even more important and more significant. So that's going to be tonight. I would definitely focus in on those dreams of yours, and that may give you some signs about what you need to change, what the upheaval is, and what the resistance is. Okay, so let's go on to the DreamBot. Why are we doing dreams? And, well, this is the health of the collective unconscious. This is a direct measure of what everyone's dreaming. Dreamings are subconscious material. If we know what the subconscious is focused on, we can have a pretty good idea of what is going to be created. And we know what the energy is. And so we look at the collective dreams. These are the most common dreams last night. And in the red arrows, true, false, inline, lawyer, square, numbers, structure, and real. What does that sound like to you? To me, it sounds like Virgo. It sounds a whole lot like it is matter of fact. It's either yes or no. It's very practical and reasonable and logical. Even lawyer likes to nitpick. That's kind of your OCD sign is Virgo. Okay, we got to get things done right. And structure points out to the Saturn that we talked about. Well, we didn't talk about, but Saturn's there as part of the Earth trine. We'll talk about that tomorrow, okay? Back to here, back to the DreamBot. We have a linguistic set that matches almost verbatim the numerology. Numbers, good. Opening, disappointed. In other words, if you open up to the numbers, if you overindulge, it's going to set you back later. So be mindful about how you orchestrate your desires today, okay? All right, now let's talk about how to orchestrate all this, and we're going to do that next. If you're finding this video helpful, subscribe. Then you're going to get the updates to the daily reports. And I do appreciate everybody's support. So how do we orchestrate all this incredible energy? We have, on the one hand, a grand Earth trine. It's going to be very matter of fact, very grounded, very reasonable. But then you've got the moon whirling past the Pluto and drumming up things, and then going past a retrograde Mars, kind of feeling sticky and well, substantiates the Earth, kind of turns the Earth into mud, if you will. That's why we had, if you're coming from Instagram or Facebook, you see the picture of the truck in the mud. If you feel that, that's just the collective energy, and stop fighting it. Stop spinning your wheels. That's the solution today, especially if you're an Earth sign. You're going to feel right at home. And if you feel that frustration in the mud, just stop and be yourself. Just stop and be mindful and relax into it. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, I think, for the air signs like myself. Did you hear my stomach rumble? Gosh, the microphone's very close to the stomach. The air signs are going to have probably a little bit harder time with this Mars transit today. And as an air sign myself, I'm even having a hard time describing what I plan on doing for if I feel this frustration. You're going to see it play out probably in just circumstances occurring as you're getting stuff done that prevent you from getting it done. Or maybe your mind is a little bit cloudy, or maybe your heavy thoughts are keeping you distracted and not focused on what you should be doing. If you're feeling any of these signs that you're in mud, then stop. It's just like what you do out in the real world. If you're with a truck that's just spinning in mud, you've got to stop, and you've got to put something under the wheels to give it substance, give it something to grab onto. So that's in our sense, in the human sense. Give yourself grounding. That's the plate that you're putting under the spinning wheels. Stop spinning the wheels. Ground yourself. Take a calm, take a Zen moment, and you don't even really need to focus in that case. Just ground. Just do the meditation. By the way, I'm going to put the meditation up here. That's really going to help you stop spinning your wheels. And it declutters the mind and gets you back on track. I recommend that in all cases, whether or not you're an earth sign or an air sign or even water sign, fire sign, so for that matter. Be watching for frustration in yourself. Be watching for, particularly if you're that air sign, later tonight, looking for confinements. That's the Uranus square. And then be looking for strife and conflict with other people. That's your transit Mars. And in all cases, get grounded. That's the energy that's there. It's all matter of fact. It's not nitpicky necessarily, especially for yourself or others. It's just to get grounded. And you can do that by just taking a break, breathing into it, relaxing, and refocus, taking time out from spinning those wheels. All right, that's a wrap today. That's our CIRF report. The collective influence is there for you, and thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Have a good day.